today to share a walkthrough of my 2017 Disney at Halloween Time albums. There are two of them, as you can see. They're both 6x8, just these black linen albums. I believe I got them from Studio Calico. So in 2017, we took a small trip to Disney World for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and to take my cousin's daughter for the very first time. So let's dive in. All right, book number 1. So on the inside, I just added this really cute Dumbo, which just so happened to be Dumbo is one of my husband's favorite characters and movies. So this was kind of perfect. That just sort of launched came in our mailer for when we booked our vacation. All right, and then this is a little mixed media page that I did with just a photo of Main Street, all decorated for Halloween. Stamped the dates on one of these tags, and then did a little bit of Disney Halloween there. All right, and then here's some of the story. So my husband and I had been for Christmas to Disney World a couple of years prior to this, and decided we really wanted to try it out for Halloween. My cousin and her daughter are huge Halloween fans, so we figured we would invite them and make it a chance to take my cousin Sammy to her on her very first trip to Disney World, which was super fun. So this is I used a lot of different things in here, so I'll try to go through them a bit at a time. But this is Simple Stories, their magic line, or their Disney line. It's not called Disney, but it's intended for, it's Disney-ish. And this is some really old Stampin' Up! Halloween paper. This was just a little insert that I made here that had some of our Magic Band information. The Magic Bands to me are really kind of magical. Well, obviously. They're one of the things I love most about Disney and the Disney experience, so I wanted to document that a little bit. So here's the picture of our Magic Band box and our luggage tags that all arrived prior to, and if you look really closely, each one has our name next to it, which is great. And then on the back, just talked a little bit about, this is a Allie Edwards story circle. So here we are in the car on the way to the airport, bright and early in the morning. It's super dark, 4:32 a.m. Some gold embossing here. That's an Allie Edwards stamp. Just telling the story of Sammy's first flight was also part of this journey, and as well as our service dog Ruby. And she was, let's see, about 6 months old when we took this trip, so we certainly put her to the test, but she did fantastic. Did a little bit of hidden journaling here, just with this pull out about Ruby's traveling experience. Little pull out here too. I love, in my 6x8 albums, I love to do interactive elements. It's my most favorite thing because I don't do a lot of that in my big 12x12s, and so I want to do as much of that when I'm doing these special albums as I can. So a little tag pull out with some journaling about Sammy's first flight. All right, and then here we are on the Magic Express, and this is just a little piece of our paperwork from the Magical Express that I just cut down and made it into my own card. So I tend to keep all the paper elements that I get when we travel, because I never know when I'll want to sort of use them in this way. Here we are checking into our hotel. A little bit of journaling. Is my bed ready yet? We left at 4:30 in the morning. We got to Disney World very early in the day, which was our plan. And we only had to wait a little bit of time to check into our room. And so while we waited, we got food. They were still serving breakfast, which was fantastic because we immediately got to have some Mickey waffles, which is delightful. Little piece of, this is a LA Studio stamp. This is actually a stamp, and then an icon, wood veneer icon from one of their sets from last year. The first thing we did was take a nap. We stayed at I think, well, All-Star Movies is where we stayed. And so just taking some fun photos around the hotel property, which is fun. So one of the first things we did after our nap was go and get first visit badges for my cousin and for Ruby. So I actually just included Ruby's in here. And the woman at our hotel who did the lettering just did such a fantastic job. So Ruby wore hers on her service vest. And then this is just a journaling tag insert, sort of explaining that. And then on the back is a picture of my cousin with her first visit badge. And again, an interactive piece. This is just something I made a template for. And then on the back, the woman who did a great job with our lettering and doing our badges. A little bit of journaling. Again, more pics at the hotel. Ready for magic. This is an Ellie Edwards stamp on some Ellie Studio pattern paper. Us waiting in line for the bus to take us to our first park, which was Magic Kingdom. Then some photos of us on the bus. All right, so our first stop was Magic Kingdom. Again, all decorated for Halloween. So fun. Being there at Christmas was like a sort of lifetime bucket list, but I did not realize that I actually might like it at Halloween time a little bit better. I don't know. So I use a lot of vellum in this album. So here I just typed Magic Kingdom Day 1 using the Remington Noiseless font on my computer and then just printed it on vellum. When I print on vellum, I like to use matte paper settings because I feel like it doesn't use, the ink sets better on the vellum. And then I just let it sit for a few minutes before I manipulate it in any way so that I don't smear any of the ink on there. This is a PhotoPass photo. Highly recommend if you go to Disney World, Disneyland, you use their PhotoPass option because you get great photographs of your whole group. With our magic bands, it's super easy. You just scan your band and you can use you get your photos. You've paid for all of them. And then I like to print them out and put them in our albums. This is a vellum speech bubble circle from an LA Studio kit. For this album, this particular trip, I actually saved. So what I do is I get, this guide map was a little bit used. You can see it's a little wrinkly. So typically what I do is I get one that we're going to use in the park. That'll be our sort of like actual map that we refer to so it can get damaged. And then I get one or two that I just save in my bag, again, in case I want to piecemeal them out later in my album or insert them as a whole thing. But what I did on this trip is I actually, if you can see here, went through and I wrote the date on there and then I circled all the different things that we did, whether they were places that we ate or had snacks or rides that we rode or shows that we did. So I did this for each day and then just inserted it in my album. And then on the back, what I did is, this is the Times Guide, which is just a separate thing that you usually have for 1 week that the parks give out. And that's specific times for different shows and things like that. A couple more photos of the decorations. That's part of the magic of the Magic Kingdom. LA Studio. More LA Studio here. These are little tags. So this is, these are actually either from the Project Life Midnight Edition, or some of them are from Liz Tamanaha's Everyday core kit. And I didn't like the rounded corners on those kits anymore, but I had a bunch of cards left over. So I went through one day and I just cut them all up and made them into tags. I punched out shapes, stars and hearts, and little mini tag punches that I have so that I would actually use these pieces in my albums and in my projects. So this is one of those, just with a little sticker on there from LA Studio, and just did some journaling about the decorations on the back there. Can never go wrong with word phrase stickers. I think those are both from Allie Edwards. Some hidden journaling about just 3 things that we liked about, actually the 3 things coordinate with these photos. And again, bonus points for interactivity. So another thing I like to do is take sort of scenic photos, not just photos of people, but photos of, I don't know, I think Disney's a really cool looking place, and so I want to have photos of the cool looking things that are there. So what I just did here is made like a fold out. And so inside, I'm telling this story. Move this over. So this is a piece from Ali Edwards' chipboard. This is a like service animal sign that it's like an icon that I found online and just printed on vellum and glued in. So this is telling the story about how we don't spend that much time in Tomorrowland when we go to the Magic Kingdom. It's just not a favorite place of ours. How this trip was different because we have a service dog with us. And so there are specific places in the park for your service animals to go to the bathroom and do the things that they need to do. And so we spent a lot of time in Tomorrowland when we were in the Magic Kingdom this time during this trip because it had one of the best potty spots for Ruby. And so just some pictures of that, which kind of seems weird, I guess, but also is a really big part of our story. And a big part of our story specifically on this trip was, it was our first big trip with Ruby, and just navigating that and, you know, talking about some of the research that we did ahead of time to know where those spaces were, to make our lives a little bit easier while we were there. And then on the back, this is a map from the Disney World app on my phone. And so I just took a screenshot of it. I actually may have gone to Google Maps on my desktop or on my laptop and found this map. But I love it because it's sort of like, it's the cartoon version of the map according to Google. And so just bookmarking like the Rocket Tower, Plaza, stage rooms, restrooms, service animal relief area, being right in here. And so this is the spot where we hung out. And then a little 3x8 insert here. This is another one of those cards. I think this is from Liz's Everyday Collection, Everyday Core Kit, sorry. Cut down to the story card size, which is 2x3, with a picture from Small World. An Avery index tab with some stamping on there that says excited about this. And then It's a Small World was Ruby's Ruby's first ride at Disney. I did some gold embossing with a Ali Edwards stamp on a piece of vellum, so it kind of is see-through, but there. And then as we were leaving, our names were on the screen, so I snapped a photo of that. Happy to have caught that. Another one of those tags cut down from, I think this is from the Midnight Core Kit from Becky Higgins, an LA Studio acrylic heart, and just talking about some of the weather and things like that. And so I like little bits and bobs. You can see I've got some ribbon here with a little paper clip. This is just an acetate arrow. Again, sort of just this scenic picture. I loved the way the afternoon light was coming in and sort of hitting the buildings in Adventureland. Not in Adventureland, Fantasyland. I don't know. It was kind of magical. Here's a view of Cinderella's castle with the steamboat. Love this one too. Can't get enough of this. This is a stamp from LA Studio. I believe it's the Everyday Phrases stamp set. Rapunzel's tower there in the back. This is the Haunted Mansion in the front here. And some pretty flora. All right, this is an insert using, this notepad came from Ali Edwards in her tech story kit. And so I used it to take, to add on a selfie that I took of the three of us while we were waiting in line for, what is this ride called? Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Little journaling tag inside about riding that ride. And then on the back, I did a screenshot from my phone, so it fit perfectly on here, of our fast passes for that first day. Documenting some snack time. This is all LA Studio stuff. And so what happened on this day is after we had snacks, my husband and Sean and Ruby, they went back to the room to relax, chill out after a long day, busy day. They were both tired. So us girls kept burning the midnight oil with extra magic hours. Because we stayed on Disney property, we got to stay until like 1 a.m, and we totally did. After getting up at 4:30, or after leaving the house at 4:30, we got up around 3:30 in the morning the night before. So big Little Mermaid fans, my cousin and her daughter. So going to Ariel's grotto to meet Ariel was Sammy's first character that she met, so we documented all of that with photos and her signature book, or her autograph book. Ellie Studio. Here we are riding the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train that we waited a really, really, really long time to ride. Photos with princesses. And then our last ride of the evening was Dumbo, the flying elephant, which is pretty classic. This is all Ellie Studio stickers and a circle that I punched. It's just the back side of the circle from a Midnight core kit card. This is a set of hearts. The front of this, sorry, is a journaling heart from an Allie Edwards kit at some point. And I just liked it as an insert. And then on the back, some Ellie Studio pattern paper. Allie Edwards chipboard, and a photo of the three of us at the castle at night. So then day 2, we did a little bit of Epcot. So we've got a giant picture of Spaceship Earth, the same vellum. Again, I like to sort of use a formula, followed by the guide map circled inside with what we did, which was not much. We literally went here so that we could meet joy and sadness from inside out. We ended up doing 2 more small things while we were there, but that was the main reason. Again, photo pass photo. We've got Tinkerbell in that one. Ellie Studio background paper. This is a Allie Edwards 4x6 card that I trimmed down into a tag and then just duplicated it in a piece of paper that was similar, like a piece of cardstock from my stash that was similar. And so journaling just a little bit about how we don't usually go to Epcot, but we did. So we went to see the seas, photo pass photo, and then we did the land, which was also really fun. And then we got to meet joy and sadness, which was the highlight. So we were there for the Halloween party, so we were dressed as characters from Inside Out. That was our group costume, which you'll see. And so meeting joy and sadness was huge for our group. Some hidden journaling in here, it looks like. If I can pull it out. Yep. Just some more. And that's a great way if you have a lot of photos you want to use, to be able to still get your journaling in there. And my family all knows at this point, like if there's a tag or a tab or something like that, they know to pull that, because that's something that I do in all my mini albums. This is old wood veneer. I don't even know where that's from. Yeah, I don't know. But memories I thought was totally perfect for meeting joy and sadness. Joy, and I was Joy, so I dyed my hair joy blue for my costume, and for fun. And so that was her pointing out my hair, and that was a super fun moment. More naps. Post-nap, waiting to get costumed up for the Halloween party. So this is still day 2. We did the Halloween party that evening. And so this is a great reason to do PhotoPass, because they do these like magic shots where we didn't know what was here. They just told us to act a certain way, and then they impose the image of the Headless Horseman. So that was perfect. So on the back, we did another PhotoPass photo in front of the castle with all the like spooky lighting on Main Street, which was great. So my husband was anger. Hopefully that's obvious. Joy, sadness, disgust, and Ruby actually was dressed as Fear. She has a little red bow tie to go with her purple vest. She looks pretty afraid in that photo, actually. So yeah, and then just a little bit of, this is an Ellie Studio card from one of their fall kits last year, and a sticker just listing out what our characters were and our costumes. A little bit of journaling, another Ellie Studio card. This is the brochure specifically for the Halloween party. And so again, I've circled the times of the shows and parades that we went to, and then like the different events, and our candy stops where we did our trick-or-treating. We didn't really ride. I think we rode one ride, the Magic Carpets of Aladdin, during the party, because there was just other stuff we wanted to do specific to the party. So here's our list of must-dos. Oh, here I added a little, I don't know if you can see, it's a little puffy asterisk for the dessert that we tried. So my goal going into the Halloween party was to try one of everything. So they have unique characters that are only out at the Halloween party. I wanted to meet at least one of them. They have specialty food during the Halloween party. I wanted to try some of that. I wanted to do some trick-or-treating, but not all trick-or-treating. And we did everything. So meet the characters who only appear at the party, trick-or-treating, Sanderson Sisters, Villain Spectacular, and I have bonus as a special treat. This is all the add-ons here. The wood veneer and the puppies are Ellie Studio, and then a midnight edition. Actually, this may be a Seafoam edition core kit card. Photos in the little photo frame in our costumes. 3x8 insert, that's from Ellie Studio. My husband did a really great job because PhotoPass is so easy. The times when like he and Ruby were not with us, they just got photos by themselves and saved them for us, and you'll see that in some of the other album too. So that was really great. This is one of the like welcome banners. This here is in a 3x8 insert. This was part of our trick-or-treating bag. So I saved our trick-or-treat bag, cut it down to size, and just inserted it there. And then on the back, saved our bands for the party and a photo of me with my magic band and my Halloween band. This trick-or-treat wood veneer is from Ellie Studio from last year. All these are from Ellie Studio as well. So pictures of me and my hubby trick-or-treating. They give out good candy and lots of it. Photos of us with our special Jack Skellington treat, which was really good. And then more Ellie Studio here. Oh, this is Allie Edwards and Ellie Studio with the arrow. This is all Ellie Studio, and an Allie Edwards cork piece here. This was of the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular show, so that was super fun. Here we are, the three of us at the parade. And so here I used one of the 2x2 page protectors. These wood veneer stars are so old. I think they're from like Studio Calico that I got at Joann, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. And so I just did little snippet pictures, little 2x2s of some of the highlights from the parade, because they're not great photos because it's so dark, but enough to give me, to sort of jump my memory of like, oh yeah, I remember, like this was all Song of the South characters that were here, and guys from the Haunted Mansion, Headless Horseman. This is just the opening float. Some of the like zombie dancers. So this was just a great way to include some of those photos that aren't really good quality and wouldn't look good large. We got to meet Lotso. That was one of our special characters that we met, who's only out at Halloween. And again, I've got that same insert journaling tag here. So this is photos on both sides. And we also met Jafar, who was also a special character at Halloween. And then this is another PhotoPass photo that I did as just a 3x8, a little bit bigger than 3x8. It's the same size as the 3x8 page protector that I just did in here as a landscape photo. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. I like having something different where you kind of have to turn the album and look a different way. And the reason I did that way is because I wanted to back it with this photo. This was another specialty photo. We all posed, you couldn't see anything over here, and then they computer image these over before you get your file. So the hitchhiking ghost was super fun. Another 3x8 insert, Ellie Studio. This is an old, maybe a Simple Stories collection, and Ellie Studio stickers in wood veneer. This goes on the back. So at the end of the night, Sammy finally picked out the ears that she wanted. And so her first official pair of mini ears were actually Maleficent ears, which were so cool. And so just a little bit of journaling about that. And then Cinderella's Castle, all spooked out. The Happy Halloween, Puffy, and the star are from Ellie's studio. But that's such a cool photo. And then this is Ellie's studio, and this magic is from that same Simple Stories. Say Cheese is the name of the collection. So I had that left over from an old album and just used that there as a closer page for album 1. And then we have album 2, which starts with day 3. Photo of us at Hollywood Studios. So on day 3, us girls went off. My husband stayed behind. They were really tired and wanted to rest after the late night at the Halloween party. And so we started day 3 by ourselves, and they met up with us later. Photo pass for the win. So here they are when they came into the park. Again, I told you my husband was great at taking photos at the photo pass of him and Ruby together. And then this is an Ellie Studio sticker that I put on top. This is an Allie Edwards stamp that I stamped, cut out, and then popped up with some pop dots of us on the bus. And the story that I just told you about how we came in the morning, and then my husband and Ruby came and joined us in the afternoon. And again, he was great at taking photos because he took this picture of Ruby on the bus. This is paper from the Say Cheese collection from Simple Stories, and then a piece of chipboard from Allie Edwards. Our guide map for Hollywood Studios. Right out of the gate, we met Donald and Daisy, which were so cute and fun. And this was the day that I was really excited about because of all of the new Star Wars things at Hollywood Studios at this time. So not as much as there's there now, but so I have my mini ears for this day are actually skeleton Darth Vader and a ghost R2-D2. They're like Halloween fabric, the Star Wars. So, and they have an orange sequin bow, and then I have a Star Wars trick-or-treating Halloween shirt. So I was super stoked to get there and see all of the Star Wars stuff. Us at Muppet Vision, so that was a fun with our 3D glasses on. It's not a great photo, but a great memory. I was afraid that with all the changes with adding Star Wars and Toy Story Land that Muppet Vision would be, the Muppet area would be going away. And I'm a big fan of the Muppets, so I wanted to make sure we got there and got to do this. Sammy was really excited to meet Olaf. A little disappointed because he didn't sign her book. He handed her a card because, he has twigs for hands. So she's a little sad about that, but generally happy. We went to see Beauty and the Beast. Then we had a snack and met up with the hubby and the pup. All Ellie's studio. Another 3x8 insert with the story card piece at the top. I Am Thankful card is from Allie Edwards. This is a cut down from the Everyday core kit and some photos of us at Tower of Terror. And then us on Tower of Terror and waiting in line. This is a little bit of a story about how we all got to ride together. You'll notice all 4 of us are on this ride together. So Disney does this great thing called you can do a ride swap. So I could have held on to Ruby at the start of the line, or at the end of the line. At the head of the line, while my husband went and rode, and we could have rode separately, or they will kennel her. And so they crated her and we rode the ride together, and that was perfect and that was great. We didn't do that. That's the only ride I think we did that on this trip. But we went to Disneyland just this March with Ruby and did it a lot. This is a Allie Edwards card with some Ellie Studio acrylic, Ellie Studio die cut. Love that photo. Then we went and met Woody and Buzz. Another snack break. Or this may be pre-snack break. This is a 4x6 card from the either Seafoam or Midnight collection that I cut down. Chipboard from Ali Edwards, and then just typed journaling on the back. And this is just a separate piece of paper that I taped on there. So I just printed it, measured, printed, and then added it on. Ellie's Studio. And this story is all about how we got to meet Groot and Star-Lord. Day made. I had seen a few weeks earlier during some of my stalking that they were going to be at Hollywood Studios, or they had been at Hollywood Studios. And then when I was looking on the map and I was looking in the brochure, they weren't listed anywhere, and we just happened to be sitting there taking a break because the service dog spot is right across from the Walt Disney Presents building. And I looked up and it said meet Groot and Star-Lord, and I probably gave my husband a heart attack because I jumped up. I ran over to the woman. I was like, are they actually in there? So much to my delight, we got to meet Groot. Star-Lord was fine, but Groot was amazing. And Ruby, you can see this great picture where she's just like staring him down. She did not know what to think of the mini talking tree. Star Wars, again, big day for Star Wars, super excited. This was great. We were walking out, and Sammy did not know what to do when the stormtroopers stopped her. So this is at the launch bay, a little 3x8 insert, PhotoPass photo on the back. These were stickers that we got while we were there, and so they're kind of cheesy, but they're fun. So I just attached them to a piece of vellum and then inserted that vellum. This is a half of a 3x8 I just cut down and put them in there. BB-8 meet and greet. Again, Ruby had no idea what to think of this little robot. Chewie was the best. He knelt down and tried to, make Ruby feel comfortable, and just was so worth the wait. So this is a little bit of tag journaling about meeting Chewie, which I know is just a guy in a suit. But it was super fun. Anybody who's a Disney fan knows, or a Star Wars fan. Ellie's Studio, puffy sticker. So this is us back after Hollywood Studios. We finished the night a little on the early side, probably around dinner time. So we went back and got dinner at the food court at our hotel, and we were delirious at this point and punchy. So my husband was so generous and wonderful to snap these lovely photos of us totally losing it, and Sammy just going back and watching video clips and looking at her photos from the day. And so it's just a little bit of journaling about how tired we were and how funny something was at that moment. And then we had dessert. And so, of course, documented that. Day 4 was for Animal Kingdom. PhotoPass photos. Guide map. Again, with all of the things that we did highlighted and circled in there. This is a Ali Edwards card, I believe, that just says, here's the story. So little spots for journaling. Ruby wore her mini ears for a little bit. I was super excited because I'm an adult. I don't feel like I can do the Wilderness Explorers, but I had a kid with me this time, so who really wanted to do the Wilderness Explorers. And so we did a couple of those stations throughout the park. And so there's just a little bit of journaling about that. These are cards from Simple Stories, from an old Simple Stories kit. So is this one. More photos. Ali Edwards. Cork piece there. A little bit of journaling about It's Tough to Be a Bug, and how that's my husband's favorite. He loves to watch people's reaction during that show. This card was really perfect. It's an Ellie's Studio card from one of their kits last fall, but the leaves were great for Animal Kingdom in general. meeting Mickey and Safari, Mickey and Minnie. And I don't know if you can see there, but Ruby's got her Minnie ears on, and Mickey and Minnie loved that. This is an Allie Edwards tag and some Ellie Studio die cut. Just did some journaling there. Another 3x8 horizontal insert of the entry to Dino Land. This is a Allie Edwards stamp that I stamped on vellum and heat embossed in gold. And then there's Rex. Us eating lunch out of a pail and shovel. A little bit of journaling about our lunch. And this was, again, my husband was there with us in the morning and then took off in the afternoon. So it was nice to have some buddies to hang with. Riding dinosaur. This is one of our our ride photo. We got that with Photo Pass. We also rode the Primeval Whirl for the first time. That was super fun. And then saw the Nemo show, which is fantastic. Big highlight was riding Expedition Everest. We had our fast pass for this, which was our last of the day. So tall enough, 1 Yeti foot tall enough to ride. Our photo from the ride. That's another Allie Edwards stamp there that I've embossed in gold. Our family photo at the Tree of Life. Their family photo at the Tree of Life. A little bit about magic photos. And here we've got Tinkerbell in Sammy's hand. So this is just a 4x6 insert here. I cut this down from something, maybe a full 6x8 or a 2 and 2 4x6, 4x6. More magic photos with the butterfly on the hand. Another 4x6 insert. This is an old Allie Edwards chipboard. And then on the back here, this is just our, this is the map they gave us of our hotel. So this is like where the food court is and where we enter, and like our room was all the way back here in this building. A little bit of journaling about our last night. So we went back, we rested, we met up with Ruby and Sean, and then more photos around the hotel. And then we went back to Magic Kingdom. And so here, again, I already have one of these, but I put in, circled and highlighted what we did on this night on Saturday, which was not very much. We're park hoppers, so we like to do that when we can. Make the most of our time there. So there we were there in the evening. We stayed for the for the fireworks show. So this is an old insert. I think this is from Heidi Swap, and I just spritzed it with some Color Shine spray ink, and then put over one of the 2x3 I'm Thankful cards from Allie Edwards and did some journaling on that. And then on the back, just cut out a piece of pattern paper and a sticker. Fireworks. Rode Dumbo. This is Heidi Swap wood veneer. Ruby and I took a break while everybody else did the Haunted Mansion. So that was just some journaling and a photo of that. An interesting photo, a different view of the castle with the fountain there, and that's Chippendale. You can't really see them because it's dark. Just backed with pattern paper. Our last thing that we did was surprise Sammy with a character breakfast. So we booked this when we booked our whole trip, and she had no idea. It was a total surprise. So we got up Saturday morning, we were leaving, and, Sunday morning we were leaving, and went over to the Grand Floridian. And so this is just journaling about that. We went to the Super Fragilistic character breakfast, and she just had no idea. So this is when she finally, we did not tell her until we sat down at our table and told her what was going on. And this is her actual reaction. Ellie Studio card that I just did the journaling on there. Photos of all the characters. Really love Mary Poppins, especially in her white dress. And then Alice and the Mad Hatter, Winnie the Pooh. And then we took the monorail back to take we took our the monorail from Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom, where we then took a bus back to our hotel so we could then take the Magic Express to the airport. So all the transportation is happening. Us waiting in line for the bus, which we did a good bit. And so then a little bit of journaling about coming home. This is what was on our room door in the morning. So it's our envelope that has like it had our boarding passes and stuff like that in there for, and our baggage tickets for, oops, this has come undone, for the Magical Express. Just fix that. And again, just a little hole punch and ribbon to make it something a little bit more decorative in the album. And here we are flying home. Ruby using one of the service animal relief areas in the airport in Orlando before we came home. The three of them in the car. A little bit about, just in summation, our trip. And then this is just a little 6x6. So the pumpkins that say, "See you real soon," as you're leaving Magic Kingdom. And this is just pattern paper from that Simply Stories Say Cheese kit. So yeah, so those both are my 2017 Disney at Halloween time album. I hope that you found that to be useful, or at least fun to flip through with me. Yeah, thanks for checking out. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Please give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you back soon. Thanks.